The following may contain language and subject matter which is only appropriate for some audiences. But since we're not very discriminatory here, everybody's welcome to listen. Hey everybody, thank you once again for joining us here on the Low Fact Podcast. Dave and Matt, once again,
Where are you, Andy?
trying to answer life's difficult questions without answering life's difficult questions.
Do you think people tune in for answers or just to hear our wonderful interactions?
I don't know, but if they're tuning in for answers, I think they'd be sorely disappointed.
So what's the topic?
Oh, today's topic is this idea that I hear often throughout many points of my life about how our elected officials aren't doing their jobs and should be replaced. It seems that is a common sentiment, and yet our elected officials never really get replaced. So, is that really even something worth thinking?
Well, yeah, I think elected officials are supposed to perform a service. They've been elected to take care of the populace. I mean, that's why you elect somebody. You elect them to make things better for you.
If that is the reason for why people vote or engage in the civic duty of voting, then I think that person's going to be disappointed every time, because I don't think it's somebody else's job to take care of me unless I'm a baby.
So what do you think if elected officials are supposed to do?
I think elected officials are supposed to, in a Republican form of government like we have in the United States, an elected official's job is to represent his district, his subset of the populace.
Isn't that a service?
It can be, but it's not like this person is not being well compensated.
But that's how people run, right? They say, like, vote for me and I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, if you're depending on someone else to take care of you,
it's not going to happen.
Well, very rarely. I mean, unless it's that person's job. I don't think the job of a politician is to take care of people, because that's just kind of bribery, isn't it?
Well, you just said it yourself. You elect a person to take care of they're representing the district. They're representing the people in that district.
Right. So the people in that district want a certain thing, or
more jobs, whatever.
If that's what you elect people for, but I don't think that it's the government's job to create jobs.
So what are they supposed to do? Just keep things running?
I think it's the government's job to maintain order somehow.
Well, that's
In a fair way. I mean, you can maintain order by enslaving everyone, but that's not really beneficial to the populace.
So you think it's unrealistic to sit there and say, oh, this person's not doing what I thought they should do, so they should be replaced. But then these people don't get replaced. So you have senators that have been senators for decades.
Look, the national politics gets a lot more attention, but local politics is where all the stuff really happens. So, before they changed the laws, the senators weren't elected by the people of a state.
They were elected by other.
They're elected by the state. You elected your congressman. You elect, your mayor directly. you elect your city council folks directly, and whatever formula is used when it's time to fill a Senate seat, the people that you elected elect people to look after the interest of that state.
Well, that actually sounds like a better system.
I thought it was, but they were able to, they being whoever it was back in, I think in 1914 is when it changed, but they were able to get that changed by saying, oh, there's all kinds of corruption, and so that got changed.
That just seems like a better form of government to me. I don't know, just
On a gut level.
at a gut level, yeah. But I think it's like it's natural human nature to sit there and say, if this person's not doing what I thought that I elected them for, and they should go. But no one really wants.
I think it's more natural to sit there and think, you should be doing more, I'm doing all I can.
So that's an unrealistic thing. It's unrealistic to.
Whether or not it's realistic or not is really not the issue or my point. My point is, it seems to me that everyone thinks that they're doing their absolute best, but everybody else is falling short on what they should be doing. Somehow. Someone else is always at fault. And it goes to my thing, right? All the successes that I have in life are due to my endeavors, my work, my talent, my whatever. And all of my failures are due to somebody else.
Well, that just makes people seem pretty stupid to me.
You'll get no argument from me there.
Because so we get upset at politicians, or we get upset at the elected officials, and we say they're not doing what I thought they should be doing for me. So we need to elect somebody else, but that's about as far as it goes.
And we're not even getting into the whole corruption aspect of the thing. Plenty of people think that government officials and bureaucrats are corrupt, to the point where, there are people that think that voting doesn't matter because there's always cheating going on, and my evidence for that is all the stuff we learn later on about all the cheating that went on to get elected.
So I don't know that this is our topic, but so corruption's just unavoidable then. Well, if you have people, you're going to have corruption. Or if you have government, you're going to have corruption.
Well, as long as there's a benefit to corruption.
What would the benefit be? That would be the people that are in it.
What do you mean?
The politicians, the government folks, the bureaucrats, whatever.
I'll just leave with this. Or we'll end on this point. The B-2 bomber.
Okay.
That giant black airplane that looks like a wing or a boomerang.
It's a cool looking thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big they were, by the way.
It didn't get it has parts being made for it, components being made for it in every state.
Still.
What do you mean still?
Like when it
it got approved, and there are components on that ordnance delivery vehicle made in every state.
That's crazy.
Or
why wouldn't you just make it in a couple of states?
If it's more efficient, then I agree with you, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Or the whole thing with the Affordable Care Act that, when it got approved, I think the state of Nebraska got like 100 years worth of perks.
Shit.
For that, for the Nebraska elected officials, like, yes vote on it to get it passed. And, the party that passed it, when they were confronted by it, the only answer of it is politics is a dirty business. When they're on the flip side of it, right? politics isn't just a dirty business. It's wrong. It's corrupt, and it's the other party that's full of dishonest motherfuckers and whatnot. So, take that for what you think it might mean. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
All right, thanks for tuning in to Low Fat Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Low Fact. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lowfactpodcast. If you want to chat to us, send us some comments, or have us talk about some things, just send an email to lowfactpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Twitter and Instagram pages at Low Fat Podcast, and also check out Andy's pages where he mixes our beats, Twitter and Instagram at Fantasy Beat, and you can also find his wicked ass shit on SoundCloud at Artificial Fantasy.